everyone, Everyone here coming at you with another deck profile. How are you doing today, guys? I'm doing amazing. I'm just doing so amazing because we went 200 subscribers and even beyond that. I'm so happy that we reached 200 subscribers in such a short time compared to the time that it went us to go to 100. And this channel is growing way too much faster than I anticipated, so I'm really happy for that. So this is my Oddest deck profile, which is have a little bit twist of the magicians and some meta you could consider engines, but I really enjoy this deck and I think you can play it with some of the engines out, which we'll talk about it maybe, and I will talk about what the engines I think should go in the ban list as well. But without further ado, let's get started. This, in my opinion, is kind of a lot more friendlier version than magicians, because I do not like magicians. Just like I don't like spirals anymore, because when a deck that I so much like become meta, like crazy meta, and get hit on the ban list because it went way too much crazy, I kinda starting to hate it. Because I like the deck at the start, like even spirals was the same idea. I like spirals at the start, but when they become something like that with links, I kind of just start to hate them. So yeah, that's pretty much for that, and sorry that I'm mumbling, but without further ado, let's get started. So starting things off, you want to run triple copies of each of your two best Oddest monsters, which are level 7. Those two guys, you know what it does. This is pretty much your ace monster in the deck, and this one is the TCG exclusive, which I don't think is a TCG exclusive anymore. I think Japan got it like around now. But what this card does is that when an Oddest card you control is destroyed, you get a special summon an Oddest monster from your hand, deck, or graveyard, which is really amazing. An Oddest Pendulum Dragon, double damage, protecting you from a battle damage with a Pendulum monster if it in the scale, and also during the end phase pop himself and search a monster with 1500 attack or less. Pretty simple. Next up, we're running 3 copies of Persona, which is the other best Oddest monster, and I think the third best one, and the only one I would recommend to run at 3. This guy has the ability to kill any extra deck monster. Simple as that. It's a level 5, it's a scale 1, this card is pretty amazing. Its skill effect is not the best, but it's still a really good card. And then the last 2 Oddest monster, although it's a level 8, one of them is Oddest Dissolver, and the other one is Oddest Synchron. Those 2 cards are awesome. Both of those 2 cards are amazing. Dissolver giving you the option to go Fusion Summon, and Synchron giving you the option to go into Synchro Summon. Really amazing card. I love both of them, and they really help their deck in their own unique ways, because they can fuse and Synchro Summon using scales, which is really cool. Of course, when I'm meaning that is that when they do their monster abilities on the field. Next up, we're playing the meta engines that I don't really like, but I think it's still really necessary if you're playing any kind of Pendulum deck, not even Electromite, because you can destroy your own cards, so why not use that? I'm playing 3 copies of Astrograph and triple copies of Chronograph. I do have Proxy too, but I'm planning to get 2 more. Anyway, this, in my opinion, is an engine that should get on the ban list immediately. Both of them. I think Astrograph should be a lot more faster than Chronograph, but I don't think that Chronograph don't have any stain on him, because this guy is also sinister as much as Astrograph is. Because this guy could be better than Chronograph and Astrograph, depending on the situation, because when you destroy a card, you can special summon this card from your hand, and then another monster, which means immediately another Electromite. So this guy is also sinister as well as Astrograph. In my opinion, both of those cards way too much powerful. While there were really good effects before we got to Link Era, now it's way too much getting out of hand, especially because those few effects, as well as Electromite, are not the hard ones per turn. That's what make my deck, the deck, in my opinion, like so annoying. Because both of those cards, if you do not count the extra deck monster, which should also be hard ones per turn, not hard ones per turn. And because of that, that is becoming so broken, so annoying, and so hard to deal with. So if you do not kill Pendulum Magicians fast, or any Pendulum deck fast, because of those cards, you're probably going to have a hard time to deal with them. And then the last 2 magicians that I'm running with them to, support this engine, I'm running 1 Stargazer and 1 Time Gazer, because you can use Stargazer and Time Gazer to pop them, themselves, Astrograph and Chronograph, to use their Pendulum effect, which I never thought I would see come to light, use their effect to pop themselves, then triggering up the other copies that you have in your hand of them, and then also getting either another monster on the field or getting another monster on the scale. And that pretty much does it for the Magician astrograph engine of the meta, whatever it is. Now we'll move on for my Magician engine, which I'm running 1 Black Fang, 1 White Wing, 1 Purple Poison, and then also 1 Noble Dragon Magician. This is my engine of Magicians that I felt I've done good as much as possible and not using crazy cards like Wisdom Eye and things like that. I love the Magicians, and I just don't like what they're turned up to be. So Black Fang is, a good card in scale to deal off with an annoying monster, cutting an attack, then dies, then destroying himself, of course, then special summon a Dark Spellcaster from the graveyard. And some Purple Poison, you attack, get 1200 for a Spellcaster, and then he dies, and then you get to pop a card in the field, face-up card, of course. Pretty simple about those two. However, I would tell you guys, I do not use those cards for their abilities mostly. I'm using them either as skills or names. Not more than that. Actually, to make you even more shocked, the best card out of all the 4 of these is White Wing. I know that sounds weird, but it's White Wing. The reason why, because White Wing is a tuner that have no restrictions except from when you Pendulum Summon her, and you use her for a Synchro Summon, then this card is getting banished. Other than that, this card is amazing. You can use it for Exceed Summon, for Synchro Summon, for even Fusion Summon without any worries. So this card is so good that if I do have a problem to see my Dark Worm, I don't mind normal summoning this card and then go into Synchro Summon, because I want to do at least 1 Synchro Summon before it's getting banished. So that's really amazing card, and very, very underrated too, in my opinion, which I guess is fair in Pendulum Magicians, but because we do not run here a heavy lineup of Magicians, I felt like harmonizing, seeing it multiples. Even though it's effective amazing, it's kind of bad because sometimes you're going to see... It's kind of like running Predaplant engine, and running that, in my opinion, is way too bad, because with some of the cards you can only search... You need to search 2 Magicians with different names as well. I didn't have this place. And Noble Dragon Magicians, already know what she does. She pretty much work with Odd Eyes because she's decreasing his level by 3, and you know the drill. And that pretty much does it for the Magician lineup. Pretty simple on that. Now we'll move on to the last engine of the deck, which is another kind of Garnet deck, I would call it, a Predaplant lineup. That is, of course, 3 Dark Worm and 1 copy Supreme K-Gate 0. I don't like to run multiple of this card. I don't really like to run it, even though I think it's pretty good, and some people are right by running 2. This deck, of course, don't have the potential to begin with, because I don't have the space. As well, I do not like it, because it's just saying that I want to run 2 bad cards, not bad cards, but 2 cards instead of 1. So if I open up one of these and then I open up this, I have 2 of those in my hand, which is, I never want to see 2 of those in my hand. So running 1, in my opinion, is way enough, and just in general, it's fitting way too much my playstyle. So that's why I'm doing it like that. It's just fitting as a glove. And also forgot to say, Dark Worm is pretty much a Perform Pulse Cobra Joker and Monkey Board on steroid. Although you do not use his Monkey Board effect, you do use a Perform Pulse Cobra Joker on steroid effect. Anyway, moving on to the spells. So for the spells, you want to run triple copies of Sky Iris, at least in my opinion. I think you need to run 3 of this card, even though there are some people who want to run only 2. This card is really useful, and he's pretty much your primary spell to pop your own cards and get your Odd Eyes cards, as well as just protecting your stuff. So running 3 of this card, in my opinion, is really good. However, because it's a hard once per turn, we're only running the 1 Terraforming, just to help you search it, and you don't need more than that. The last Odd Eyes card, related card I'm running, is 3 copies of Spiral Flame Strike. Really good card, being able to give you the search from your deck to a level 7 Odd Eyes monster, as well as recycle from your extra deck if you need to, and then also the ability to, if you control an Odd Eyes card, to pop a card is really amazing. None of those effects is a hard once per turn, which makes this card even more broken, but, it's an Odd Eyes deck, so it's not that broken. Now, one thing I would say, the only reason why I do not run Odd Eyes Fusion as well as in here, because I feel like Odd Eyes Fusion is a brick, and we'll get to the extra deck and I'll explain you why I do not run as well Odd Eyes Fusion. Next up, for the other searcher of the deck that, search almost 8 cards, I'm running triple copies of Duelist Alliance. This guy is another way to search your 2 dragons, which are Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon and Arc Pendulum Dragon, which are both of these you want to see in your opening hand as soon as possible, so that's really, really cool. And then another card that I'm running could be searched by this. A lot of people probably saw it coming, but I'm running 2 copies of Pendulum Call. This card is pretty good in deck, not only getting rid of cloggy duelist alliances and giving you another search, but also you can discard Dark Worm or Noble Dragon Magician and then achieve additional advantage because you discard Dark Worm, you control no additional monster, you do not control any monsters. If, of course, that is the case, you get to special summon it, and it's getting to be a +2 because you're getting a monster on the board, and then you're also getting a scale, which does open up a lot of more plays, and then you can use that monster for Link Summon before you even Pendulum Summon. Noble's Dragon Magician is the same to help you a little bit further down the turn to achieve more Link plays or Synchro plays, which that's why I'm running this card at 2. You don't want to see it way too much, but you don't want to have a chance that you don't see it, because this card is amazing. And then the last spell is probably kind of weird, but I actually like it in the deck. I'm running 1 copy of Monster Reborn. Some people will say self-explanatory, but this is a Pendulum deck. So most of your cards go into the extra deck. So there are some people who say that. However, the argue why you want to run this card is because it can revive your Link monsters. So why not have a potential to revive your Link monsters? And you can also revive monsters from your graveyard, which were used for Xyz Summon. So that's a really good card, and sometimes I'm even reviving the most basic monster just to help me finish the combo that I wanted. So this card is really, really useful, and is pretty much that. And that pretty much does it for the main deck. No side deck this time, just because I didn't have the time to put something, because I'm kind of I'm actually, in the time I'm recording this, I need to go to an operation on my wisdom tooth, on my 2 left ones, so yeah, I'm kind of in the middle of something, so I didn't have the time to put a side deck, but still. Now we'll move on for the extra deck. So first off, of course, you want to run 1 copy of Z-Arc. Pretty self-explanatory if you're running a Z-Arc variant and you want to run it, because it's just a boss monster, and you can even use his other effect to summon Dark Worm 2 now, because we do have Dark Worm as a Supreme King monster, so that's really, really nice. Next up, 1 copy of, you could say, what is his name again? Supreme King Dragon, what is his name again? Starving Venom. I don't know why I'm forgetting those names, even if they're in front of my eyes. But anyway, 2 of those that were really useful, and then 1 copy of Vortex, because Vortex is Vortex. Now, why I'm saying that you do not need Odd Eyes Fusion? First of all, Vortex can be special summoned by other means, which is Dissolver and the effect of Absolute if it sends to the graveyard. So you do not need Odd Eyes Fusion. Supreme King Starving Venom, it's a Contact Fuse. And then you have a Supreme King Dragon Z-Arc, which can be brought by using Chronograph, Astrograph, and only if you really, really need to Dissolver. So running an Odd Eyes Fusion, in my opinion, is pretty much running a brick. And that's why I do not run that. Next up, for the Synchros, you want to run 1 copy of Odd Eyes Meteor Burst, your only level 7 Synchro monster. Really, really useful, being able to give you Xyz plays and just getting cards out of your Pendulum Scale. Really, really nice as well. Supreme King Dragon Clearwing, because this card is, again, what do you call it? Forgot. Lightning Vortex on summon without the cost, as well as just being able to inflict tons of damage to your opponent. Alignment Paladin, because this card, when it brought out, is another potential for OTK and can recycle for you a spell, which is really nice as well. And it's one of my favorite Synchro monsters, as well as Nirvana High Paladin. And then 1 copy of Ignister, because you can pop a card and then shuffle a card your opponent has. As well, if you're playing against a Pendulum deck, you can pop one of their cards and then shuffle a card, which is really, really broken as well. And then 1 copy of Nirvana High Paladin, because if I'm running one of my favorite Paladins, why I'm not running one of the second one? I love those 2 cards really, really much, and bringing this card is actually not that hard. You have few ways to bring him. So the first one is you use 2 level 4 Synchro Summon to a level 8, and then going up with the Odd-Eyes Synchron, and then you got right there a level 10 Synchro Summon. as well as you can use actually what I call Meteor Burst as a level 4 when you use Noble Effect and then use Chronograph to make this a Synchro Summon, because you can use a Pendulum Monster as a tuner, and then also you can use a level 5 and one of these. So it's really useful and really nice, and I really like this deck a lot. It's just helping a lot of the things in the deck, and just, in my opinion, it's just really nice to have this Synchro Monster. Next up, we run for the Xyz monsters. I'm running 1 copy of Artist's Absolute Dragon, then 1 copy of Red Flare Metal, and then 1 copy of Supreme King Dragon Dark Rebellion, and then 1 copy of Time Star. Absolute makes sense. Same goes for Supreme King. Time Star as well, but Red Flare Metal is only here because I need sometimes another rank 7, and that's pretty much it for that. And then for the Link monsters, first off, because I do not have Electromite, I'm running 1 copy of of Zephyr Metatron. This card, as much as it sounds weird, is actually really good in the deck, being able to use extra deck monsters after you just, you Pendulum Summon them and you have nothing to do with them, and getting free links for it. That's really amazing for next turn, as well as just being able to banish an extra deck monster or something like that to deal with problematic, annoying effect of monsters. It's really nice. This card is really good. A lot of people just underappreciate this card, and I really like this card to be a placeholder, which I might actually in the future consider maybe playing this card instead of this one, and not this one, I'm sorry, but I do run the Proxy Dragon, I mean Deco Talker, sorry. I might actually change Deco Talker to be the option for Electromite, because I actually love Zephyr Metaltron. I like Zephyr Metaltron, and Deco Talker is just, once again, one of those placeholders until we get Electromite, and of course you saw it, I'm running 1 Proxy Dragon, which in the future, once again, I'm not 100% sure if I wouldn't cut this card, because I'm not 100% sure if you want monsters in your main monster zone to be like a Link monster. But we'll see, it's still in playtesting. And that does it for the deck profile, so hope you guys enjoy. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'm so thanking for every single one of you to, reaching 200 right now. I'm really happy. It's making me so happy that we're growing really fast. And like I said, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to like, subscribe. It's really helped my channel grow and help me bring out videos to you every single Monday and Thursday, which if I'm not bringing, it's probably have a reason, I will tell you in the next one, but it's helped me really much, and I really enjoy it. So yeah, that's pretty much it for that. Like I said, don't forget to like, subscribe. I'm sorry that I'm repeating that, but I just need to repeat my catchphrase. And remember, creativity is the key in this game. Have a good day, guys, and stay safe.